This is a Research Infrastructure Services instructional video.
Link here, and then you'll be taken to our service desk, which we're not going to go there quite yet because we're going to look at that more in depth here in just a little bit. So our main service that we started with is our data storage platform. And this page provides the information needed to request and start using the data service. You'll see there's information in these easy drop downs about getting started, all the information you will need when you request service, who the intended users are, requirements and considerations, and then some of the general features of the service. The options across the bottom are each tiers of storage that we offer. The active storage tier is where most researchers are probably going to start off with. This is where your 5 free terabyte of storage is offered. So let's take a closer look at the active tier. Again, you can see request service, which will take you directly to our service desk. Clicking on see rates will actually take you out to Box to where you can see a secured copy of all of our rates for the data service platform. And we'll also give you more information about the different tier models that we have. And then again, at the bottom, you can see we do link again to our service desk and then back to our website. Let's go back over here. The other tiers available, archive. This is the tier for long-term storage of data that may need to be retained but no longer needs to be accessed regularly. You can request archive in the same manner, request service, and again see the rates for archive and visit the user guides. For those that already have an active storage allocation, archive works in very much the same manner as your active allocation. Once you request it and it's created, it is viewable at the same level as your active on storage 1. It really is as simple as dragging and dropping between active and then pulling it back from archive if needed. And then the storage condo is an option if you have a large amount of data and want to purchase in 500 terabyte increments. Again, you can request more information about this option by going to our service desk, seeing the rates, and seeing the user guides. All of these items we're going to look at more in depth here in just a little bit. Now, the cold storage tier is a future feature that's coming soon. This is in development, and it will be a storage option at a much lower cost for data that only needs to be retained and really no longer accessed. So look for that in the near future. The scientific compute platform service, you can see it's laid out very much in the same manner. Information on how to get started, who the intended users are, the requirements and considerations, and then the general features again. And same with each of the tiers that are available. Easy access to request more information, see the rates, and see the user manual. And finally, wrapping up our services, you may not know that RIS also supports on behalf of our partners a variety of research applications. Globus is a secure file transfer service. ITSM, our service management, is coming soon, as Craig talked about yesterday if you were in that workshop. It will be a self-service portal that will allow researchers access to their billing, provisioning, and change management services. Lab Archives, if you haven't checked it out yet, you can click on the link to get more information and check it out. It's a cloud-based data collaboration and management tool, and it lets you organize, store your lab data. And then REDCap is a web application for building and managing online surveys and databases. So these are all research applications that RIS supports on behalf of our strategic partners. I'm going to skip over from support right now, since we're going to go look at our service desk in just a little bit. Under the resources tab is links to our knowledge base and our user manuals, workshops and training. There is grants proposal support as well. RIS does offer descriptions of our infrastructure that can be used in grant proposals. And this is linked here where you can go out to Box and grab a copy of the document. And then finally, of course, there are our policies for usage of our services. On news and events, we post all of the events and workshops that we participate in and put on. So this is a good place to look when you want to know what RIS is presenting. We try and keep it up to date with everything that maybe we aren't presenting, but maybe Craig is presenting at. That is where this is always posted as well. Now, if you want to learn more about the RIS team, you can go to the About Us tab. And we have information about who we are, how long we've been in the industry. Our oversight committee, a little bit more information about who oversees our group and how decisions are made. And we also offer data center tours, both virtual and in person. If after taking the virtual tour, you want to see more of the behind the scenes, you can request an in-person tour. We won't be doing any in-person tours until everyone's out of quarantine. But if after taking the virtual tour, you would like to see the data center in person, please sign up and we can schedule a visit. Okay, now let's take a little closer look at our service desk. You may be wondering why RIS operates their own service desk and not use ServiceNow. Well, the RIS service desk is integrated into our departmental workflow. And this integration allows our small team to ensure a professional experience of an enterprise resource. Even though you can enter your requests for our services within ServiceNow or at the university IT help number, our response time may not be quite as quick as it would be if the request was entered into our service desk, where our entire team monitors and tracks tickets. We will get the tickets that get entered into ServiceNow. It's just not something our eyes are on all the time. Now, our service desk to request support, it's really simple. Just click the link. Now, you can link here directly if you choose and wish to bookmark it. It is servicedesk.ris.wustl.edu. Authentication is with your Wustl key ID and password. And if you're not on the Wustl network, you will need to be connected to the VPN to get access to the service desk. Here on the landing page, you can see on the left your options for requesting service. It defaults right here to consulting and engagement. So if you have just something that you need additional help with that may not be within the realm of our defined services, here's where you would start. So on the data storage platform, if you have not requested your 5 free terabyte of storage yet, here is where you'll go. Request a new storage allocation. You're going to be asked a variety of questions. All of those were defined back in the website of what the requirements are. You will need your Wustl key ID. You'll need to define if it is PHI or confidential or general research. And this drop down, you'll choose whether you're asking for active Or if you already have active and you would like an archive allocation, this is where you will enter that request. You'll need to put down your department number, and location is helpful if we need to troubleshoot with maybe another team on connectivity. Billing and technical is optional. If you have a technical person in your lab that will be making the majority of the requests for your lab, here's a good place to put their information so that we know that is an authorized person on your behalf. And then you'll want to take a look at the user agreement before you check the box here for acknowledging that you've read the user agreement. This box for access control lists, if you have users in your lab that you would like to grant access to your storage allocation, here is where you would add their WSTL key IDs. And then if you have specific project folders that you would like to limit access to, you can add the folder name here, and you can let us know which users you would like access to a specific folder. Once you fill everything out, you just hit the create button and we will start fulfilling your request. And once it has been completed, we will get back to you with information on how to connect to your new allocation. Under update or change an existing allocation, if you have previously added users to your allocation and you want to remove them, here's where you'll do that, and then you'll provide their WSTL keys. Or if you need to add new users for access, here is where you will add their information. You'll want to be sure to include your allocation name. Even though it says optional, we would have to come back and say, hey, which allocation is it that you need us to modify? So include your WSTL key ID there, which is the name of your allocation. And then any other information you need us to know. This is also the form you would need to use if you want to increase your quota. So if you signed up with your initial 5 terabyte, but you need another 5, then here's where you would ask for an increase in your quota. And then the last couple options, if you are experiencing a problem with your allocation, you can use this entry here to just tell us what the problem is, and we can get back to you to start troubleshooting. And then of course, if you have a general question, you can use the final bottom one as well. Over on the scientific compute platform, it's very similar the way it's laid out. If you want to activate compute, you start filling out the required information. Same type of questions, your access control list if you have lab members that you want to have access to your compute space. And then of course here, you already have to have a storage allocation before you can start using compute. Then again, you'll want to take a quick look at the compute usage agreement before you check that box. And then once you hit create, we'll start fulfilling your request and get back to you when it's ready to go. Same with research applications. The ones that we support are here with links for, there's also links for additional support from those vendors. Now you may have noticed that here under ask a question about data storage platform, and it was the same on compute and the other areas. There's also links here that say common questions answered in the service knowledge base. And our knowledge base is linked here, and our knowledge base is linked back on the main RIS website as well. So we're going to take a look at that. You can either click to look at the entire knowledge base here, or you can actually ask a question in the search box when you're coming into the service desk. So say if you need to know how to mount your storage. The first 3 articles that come up are how do I mount my research storage on Mac, Linux, and Windows. And then of course, if that's not what you were looking for, you can say none of these are what I need, and you're going to go right back to the service desk and you can ask the specific question that you are looking for. Let's look at the knowledge base a little closer here. By clicking on the knowledge base link there, you're going to see all of our services listed here. And then by clicking on the storage platform here, you can see all the articles that we have. And if you look at them, you may find what you were looking for, or you can still use the service desk to go ahead and ask that question. So let me get back here to, now we also offer a user manual in addition to the knowledge base articles that are a little bit more in depth. So on the compute management service for the user manuals, you're going to find a wealth of information to begin using compute. There are quick start guides, common FAQs. Everything you need is all linked. The user manuals also provide information regarding the launch stages of our services. So while the storage service is in general availability with features open to all of our customers covered by the RIS service level agreements, the compute service is still in beta stage, meaning the early adopters are being onboarded to the service and they are participating in testing of our service. And once we move out of beta and then it'll be in general availability, then it'll be covered fully under our service level agreements. Now, one more location where you can find everything you need for RIS is WSTL 1 if you're a one user. There is a task group. You just have to search for Research Infrastructure Services. And all of the tasks that link to all of our services are listed. Just make that a favorite and then it'll be on your one page. So the service desk is linked, the user manuals, the main RIS page, all of the services, the knowledge base articles, all in one place. So everything is pretty easy. Everything is linked. The main RIS website and one is pretty much one-stop shopping for everything that we offer. And we hope that it makes your experience easy and you're ready to start requesting services from us. So I think that's about all I have. Does anybody have any questions on how they can interact with us? Oh, okay. I see some questions about department numbers. Your business office should be able to supply your department number to you. So if you talk with your business manager or your department heads, they can tell you what your department number is.
A question to ask, what's the best way to upload large files to RIS?
Large files, Globus, because Storage One is a Globus endpoint. If it's, you can set up the other location where it's coming from. You can set up as a personal endpoint and make the transfer. And in our knowledge base, we have a wealth of information about using Globus. And we're also, if you have any trouble using it, you can put in a request and we can assist.
We also just got a question about turnaround time for submitting questions for request for service. We've got, we try to get back with you with a response within 8 business hours. And so that doesn't count hours outside business hours, but generally if you put in a request, you should get a response from us that day or the next business day. As to fulfilling the request, it depends on what the request is.
Correct. We try and be timely in our updates if we are delayed in fulfilling that request.
And then just have a question about, can we transfer from storage 0 directly to a laptop with Globus?
Storage 0. I believe there might be something in there that I would have to look on the legacy stuff.
And then Bridget asks if we have to be activated to get access to the service desk. You just need to have a WSTL key to use the service desk.
That is correct.
Julie, can you talk about ACLs and how you make those requests?
Well, Rob is covering ACLs in the next workshop, but briefly, I will say that if you have in your allocation and you have several projects within your allocation, if they're defined within top level folders there, we can set separate access controls on each one of those. So we just need that information when you want those access controls. That just needs to be provided in the ticket. And I know Rob's going to talk about access controls a little bit more in the next workshop. So I will put one caveat on that. When you're naming your projects, you don't want to make them super long or special characters or lots of spaces either, just because of the back end infrastructure and how it handles that. Windows users, tend to, a lot of them will name things out really long. And if we can keep project names a little bit shorter, that prevents us having to request renames on things as well. Sometimes that happens.
We have a question about whether or not WSTL key is required, and do students have 5 terabytes of storage?
Nope, it's only faculty.
But the faculty can allow students to use their storage. So if students are involved in research, the faculty member can allow the student access to their allocation so that they can participate in research.
Correct. And that was on the one form. If you have a technical contact, if you have a student that's going to be your technical person making the request for your lab and your allocation, that's where you can give that type of permission. Just include that information when you make the request. That way we don't have to come back to the faculty member every time asking for permission.
James White just asked where junior faculty fall. If you're an instructor, do you count as faculty and get your 5 terabytes there or not?
We use the HR system to verify faculty. So if you're classified as faculty by the university, then you would be entitled.
And I don't believe postdocs are included in that group. Julie, you have a little bit more experience with that. Have you come across that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether they are or not. We just have a view into the HR system that classifies them faculty or staff. So if you are classified as faculty, then you would get your free 5 terabyte.
Yeah, and you do need a WSTL key, but you can, if you have collaborations outside the university where you wanted to use your RIS storage, that person could be granted a WSTL key for a contractor for a limited time to participate in that research. Now they would currently have to use VPN to access that storage off-site, but they can share and participate, within the research storage platform.
Yes, and we can help you guide through that. We can help you with where you need to go to request that guest WSTL key, and then adding them. We can do the same if you have a lab and you need a service account for, say, an instrument. It has to be created a certain way, but we can help guide you through that process as well.
there's a question, is VPN just off campus access through library? How else to get VPN? I think you would need to go to the it.whistle.edu website for how to get access to VPN. They support the VPN.
Yes, you just need to request VPN through the main WU IT service desk.
Okay, well, I think that takes up our half-an-hour time. Thanks for everybody for participating. We're going to close this one down and start up the next seminar.
Thanks, everybody. Please, if you have any more questions, just put in a ticket and we will answer them.